Hello and welcome back. It's Stephanie, aka Business Chic Mama. We are on part 2 of Etsy SEO and the algorithm. That being said, if you haven't watched part 1, I highly recommend it. We get into the technical side of how the Etsy algorithm works, how Etsy categorizes all of these listings to show to its potential buyers. And it gets into detail. I really think that you will benefit from the video. I'm going to leave the link below for you guys. So today we're going to talk about how to optimize your listing for Etsy SEO. And if you don't even know what SEO is, it stands for search engine optimization. It's a fancy word of how all those computers in the background get you found, or how a customer finds things. And Etsy has its own algorithm, and I explained that in video 1. And this video is going to you're going to learn how to optimize that listing for success. How do you get found? What we're going to do is we're going into my personal Etsy account, Beat a Tassel Company, and I am cringing right now looking at one of my first listings that I ever did on Etsy, and I could see right now the mistakes that I've made. So I want you to learn from these mistakes that I'm going to correct, and I want you to go back to your listing and apply everything that I taught you today to your listing, and you will see a boost in your shop. So the first thing, we're going to go to the cross round charm listing. I think it was one of 10 that I first put up on Etsy, and we all know when we start on Etsy, most of us don't know what we're doing. We kind of are just getting by. We don't really do a ton of research. We just put up our listings and we do hope marketing, hope it's going to sell. So the very first suggestion, if I was critiquing this shop as a client, suggesting for a client, paying client, I would say, hey, the very first thing that you need to do is you need to go in and we need to change this blue background. Okay, the blue background, yes, it can be nice. It can be, you can absolutely have a blue background, but the research shows that white backgrounds or light backgrounds outperform the darker backgrounds. And if you have a black background, I'm not saying that you cannot do well on Etsy. Don't get me wrong. It's all how you style it and your, cohesive look of your shop, how you brand everything. You can absolutely do well with a dark background, but in my case, I would highly recommend changing this to a white or light background. Photos are everything on Etsy. Remember, you need to make sure that your photos are beautiful and clear, and we're going to go ahead and increase the size. You want to have a close-up of your product. It's absolutely necessary. I see so many products on Etsy that are too far away, too small, and that is not going to create a sale. They're not going to click on your photos. So first thing you do, change the background, increase the size, and add all the photos, at least 3 to 4 photos. Etsy has specifically stated that it wants you to provide as many photos from many different angles, or maybe you're staging it, as possible. And this is only going to help the buyer experience. Remember, you're always thinking about what does the buyer do when they click on your particular listing. I only have one photo. We have 3 mistakes right here. The background, the only choosing one photo, and we don't have any variations, and then the size. We needed to increase to get a close-up. Now, as we scroll down, we have the title, and it looks like here I just threw up a bunch of keywords and tried to make them just sound good, and they don't. I've basically keyword stuff, which is mean there's no flow to the choice of words that I'm using. Cross round charms, antique silver stamp charms, 12mm pendant, jewelry making supplies. And although Etsy says they prefer shorter title lengths, I recommend that you use probably about 100 to 120 of the characters that Etsy allows you to have 140. and that would probably be a good length of your title. You want to use, this is prime real estate, guys. You want to capture your audience, but you also don't want to stuff your keywords, and you want to use descriptive keywords, and those are called long tail keywords. So what I've done is I am going to go into one of my tools that I like, which is Etsy Rank, and I've already typed in cross round charms, which is the first 3 keywords I've used on my listing. I'm going to look at the statistics. I can see that there's only 2,291 listings found with this particular keyword sequence, which is great because that means that there's low competition for this keyword. The total views here, there's a lot of information here. You do want to make sure though that this keyword sequence is going to be, it's not going to have too much demand, but you're also going to need demand for people to click on it. So if this was very low, then you know that it's probably not a good keyword to choose because no one's really looking for it. So as you scroll down, here are some suggestions that you can use, and as we scroll down a little bit further, we see if it's long tail or short tail keyword, and as we scroll down, we can see all different suggestions, which is great because we have a lot of long tail keyword suggestions that we can use in this listing. For example, I did not put religious charms in my listing. I did not put Christian charms. Those are all great keywords to use. Remember, Etsy tells us use variety in your keywords for the best chance of being found. So we're going to go back to the listing, and again, I'm doing this fairly quickly to keep this video short. So you're going to go back here and do your own research, and you want to make sure that you know, if you upgrade to the Pro version, I'll leave a link below to the Etsy Rank as well, that you will see everything. It's really great for you know, just a tool to use. It shows how many searches. It shows the engagement, which is really important. You want to have Etsy engagement on these keywords. So that being said, let's go ahead, go back to my listing, and we would make some changes here. I would take this off, and I would start with something like gold cross religious charms. Then I would separate it with a comma or a slash, and then I would use another long tail keyword. I could be using, I have not used the word pendant, so embossed, and of course this is after I've done my research and I found my best keywords to use. Embossed, spiritual or Christian, small pendants, as so on and so forth. And I would continue this all the way till you hit the end. Do not just put gold cross charms. You will never get found on Etsy that way. This is prime real estate, guys. Use it. Okay, as we scroll down, we need to put the correct category, and according to the category that you choose, so let's try, you know, this is going to be pendants, charms. According to the category that you pick, you're going to have all these attributes below that are relevant to the category that you pick. For example, if you are selling swimwear, you would not have the pendant height. You would have something else in these attributes. I recommend you fill out everything that you can about the listing. The more complete your listing, the better chances you have to be found. So what I would do is I would put in my unit measurement of 12 millimeters, and I would continue to go down. This is not a necklace. If it's a gemstone, it's not. The materials, brass, and you can choose up to 4. Your color, absolutely put your color, which is gold. And if you have a secondary color, for example, if you are selling a piece of jewelry that is turquoise and gold. You would want to make sure you have that secondary color in there, turquoise and gold. And of course, you want to fill out everything that you can here. This one has recipients. You can fill this out as well. I highly recommend if it is for a specific category. Let's say you're selling something just for boys and it only applies to boys, fill it out. Because remember, when your customers are coming in to search for something, they're pretty specific. They would be searching for boys, train sets. And if you're checking off boys, you are ahead of the game of all the other people that did not check off this category. So remember, think about what your customer is looking for. Get into their mind, pretend you're them, and type in those keywords, and that is going to help you so much. Okay, this even goes with shape. We're going to go with this as a round one, and let's find round. Okay, you get the point. Can't even find it. But the style, the theme, let's say you have something that's just completely like shell jewelry. That's beach and tropical. Here you can put in spinner. There's so many attributes here. Fill them all out. Then, oh my goodness, look at my description. This is really a crying shame, this listing, and I'm glad that I picked one of my bad ones to help you guys. What you want to do is make sure that when you put in your description, this is exactly what you need to do. Describe it. Use descriptive words and adjectives. Like, for instance, beautiful gold cross charms. You will absolutely love these petite. Do you see how I'm using different words and descriptive words? Wholesale charms. They are perfect for your jewelry making craft. And so on and so forth. You want to fill this out. You do not want to have 2 sentences or 3 sentences. You can put shipping policies, you can put store policies, you can put, make sure your item is described completely. And that is really going to help you when your customer clicks on your item. If they see a 1-line description, they're probably going to think twice about buying your product. Remember, customer experience. Etsy can't state that enough. In September 2018, Etsy specifically talks about the customer experience, and that's what you need to do to optimize your listings. Don't be lazy, guys. I know it's hard, especially if you have to redo your listings. Just do them at 1 or 2 a day, and eventually you'll have them all finished and optimized. As you scroll down, I did use all 13 tags, which is a must, but I have highly competitive keywords and they're not long tail. And that again is not saying that you can't use the short tail keywords, but you will have a better chance of ranking higher if you use the long tail keywords. For example, we want to use, I don't even have jewelry making supplies in here, so I'm going to cross this one out. I would put, or wholesale supplies. So if a customer types in wholesale charm supplies, I've got my keyword in there. And you want to make sure you have a real variety on these. I would just get rid of pendants. I'm not going to rank for pendants or beads or findings, but I might put gold findings. Oops, sorry, I can't spell. Do you see what I'm talking about? You've got to use the descriptive words. Now, Etsy also states that you do not need to repeat. If you have it in your tags and you have it in your title, you don't need to do both. So here's an opportunity to use an amazing amount of keywords. You do not need to put gold cross charms in your tags. It's already there. So let's keep scrolling.